Hi, I'm Crystal. Happy National Pet Day. I was the penthouse pet, I don't know, maybe around August of 1991. I just remember it was hot and I burnt my muffin during that outdoor shoot. Speaking of hot, flapjacks are up and they ain't gonna serve themselves. Happy Pet Day.
Happy National Pet Day.
I should have.
Not the penthouse pets, by the way.
Oh, well, I could have looked at those too, I suppose. Got to make sure you love on your pets today. Make sure you give them some extra treats. Kitty cat, make sure you get kitty cat some extra treats today.
What?
We talked about you getting a cat tattoo of kitty cat yesterday.
No, that ain't happening.
Well, at least get her some extra treats today. It's pet day, all right?
All right. Well, 2/3 of us have at least one pet at home.
Okay.
According to most recent stats, dogs and cats are the most common, followed by fish, birds, rodents.
Yeah.
I have some of those unwanted.
Yeah, they're not. Do you name them? When you start assigning names, then they're just pets.
Yeah. Die, you little.
You got to be careful there. Don't say that on the radio. Can't call them that name.
No, actually, my cat takes care of them.
Good.
If they sneak in.
Good cat. That's what cats are for.
So I will give it a treat for that.
You really should.
Reptiles and horses.
I don't consider horse a pet. Horse is livestock, isn't it?
I think to some people it is a pet.
I 100% agree. They do love them and treat them as such, but that doesn't feel like a pet. That's they have to be outside. They have to be.
No, they go in barns.
Yeah, in barns, I guess. Yeah.
There's been a couple around here that they have access to the home. There was one in Galena.
Miniature horse?
No.
Full-size horse.
That was in the front. That was in the yard, and it went into the house.
It went into the house.
Had access. And there was one, I think, in Carl Junction, maybe a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, but that was weird.
I
90. I don't want to go into that story.
Yeah. Okay.
97% of us think they're fur babies as part of the family.
Sure.
But we definitely get a little more creative naming them than we do our actual kids. I think it's pretty close now with some. I think if you rule out Hollywood people and some people, then not. But I think we're getting
pretty creative with kid names.
We're catching up to naming.
True, but I think you can get away with the more funny and the more bizarre with a pet. Yeah. That's okay.
National Pet Insurance has an annual contest to find the wackiest pet names in America. Last year's winner included a dog named Doc Holiday.
Doc Holiday. It's hard to when it's spelled out. Sometimes it's difficult.
When
to
I
understand.
saw it, it was like, how do I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, and then it dawned on me. It took me a minute. And a cat named Spicy Beef Burrito.
She's a burrito. Okay, I like that one too.
You got to say it like that too.
Yeah.
Spicy burrito. They just announced the finalist of 2024. Voting closes tomorrow, so if you'd like to go vote, you can do that now.
Yeah.
In the running this year, the dog category, Boots with Fur.
Boots with the Fur, derived from the old rap song. I don't know which one, but you know it when you hear it. Boots, apple bottom jeans, I believe
yes,
it is.
That is it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
From the club days of
I was out there dancing once upon a time.
Jukebox Saturday night.
I was out there dancing to that stuff once upon a time.
Up in the DJ booth spinning those songs I was. Chug Chug Pickles.
Chug Chug Pickles. I don't think that's from a song. I just imagine that dog got into some pickles once upon a time.
And he chugged them.
He is now Chug Chug Pickles.
I like that one.
It's a weird name.
Little Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies. That's way too long.
Too much. It's a whole sentence. You can't name it dog a sentence.
Because it's hard to yell at them when they're like that.
Little Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies. Stop pooping on the floor.
Get out of the pickles.
Yeah, you're right. Too long. Too hard to yell.
Lord Waddles.
Lord Waddles is fantastic. I
awesome.
love Lord Waddles. You know that's probably a corgi or something.
Yeah. Lulu the Conqueror.
Which means that dog has beaten up some other dogs, is my guess. I like that, too.
Mr. Pizza Puff.
Don't know why that, but I like it.
Molly from Corporate. That's an ugly dog, and they do not like Molly.
You know they don't like
from the corporate office.
Named their pug.
You are a little bee,
yeah,
and I'm naming you Molly from Corporate.
Molly from Corporate. You and your pug face, just like Molly's pug face.
All right, I'm voting for Chug Chug Pickles.
Chug Chug Pickles is good. I like Lord Waddles. I think that's a great dog.
Sorry,
name.
There's a few more. Team the Bandit Player.
That doesn't even make sense.
A dog just called The News.
Okay.
And there's one called One Love Tiny Dancer Princess Margaret Rose Windsor.
Again, too many names. But it does sound like royalty.
Mm-hmm.
And a big Elton John fan, maybe.
Yes, I think both.
Yeah.
I'm Chug Chug Pickles is my vote. All right, let's go to the cats. Cat nominees. I was not creative at all. I've got cat,
yes.
and kitty cat.
Yeah.
It can be either one.
That's not going to make the cut, probably.
Cat nominees, balsamic vin.
Like the vinegar? Balsamic vinegar?
Yeah.
That person's a chef.
Car alarm.
What's your cat's name? Car alarm.
Itty bitty kitty committee.
That's pretty
That's
fun.
clever.
I like that one.
It's hard to say if you're mad at the cat.
Yeah, true.
Meow-nace.
That one's hard to say if you're mad at the cat.
Yeah.
Meow-nace. That's hard.
Oh, these are hard.
Yeah, the cat
Minerva, meow,
Gonagal?
what the hell?
Meow Gonagal.
Neochronomatic cat.
Neo.
I can't even say these names. They're
no,
dumb.
that's Necronomicat.
Something's wrong with cat people.
That one's weird. I like the next one though.
Skull Crusher.
Skull Crusher. That cat's a badass. What's your cat's? I love going to the vet with the idea of what's your kitty's name? Skull Crusher.
And I think you have to say it that way.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Skull Crusher. Steph
Steph
Purry.
I liked Steph Purry.
Tony's Scarface Baloney.
Okay.
And Samsung Family Hub Refrigerator.
Is this like where you accidentally name your device the wrong thing? They did it with the cat.
I think so. Cat. Something wrong with cat people. Dog category. Way better names.
I will say Skull Crusher is an awesome cat name.
But I'm voting Skull Crusher.
No doubt about it.
They also have a catch-all division for other animals. As we mentioned, there's other ones. Their nominees included a tortoise named Midsize Sedan,
Must be a big tortoise.
a lizard named Frosted Mini Wheats,
That's probably the kid's favorite cereal or something. What do you want to name your lizard? Frosted Mini Wheats.
a guinea pig named Cowpig.
Don't know why there. Got part of it right.
It's funny.
Yeah.
An actual pig named Snoop Hoggy Hog.
Snoop Hoggy Hog has to be in the, he's got to win, right?
Yeah. If you would like to vote, you can go to petinsurance.com, wacky pet names. You got till tomorrow to name the pets. I'm going to go out on the limb here and say dog category, dog people, much better at naming.
Agreed. I think.
Out of the cat names. I couldn't say half of them. I mean, that's not saying much, but I still couldn't.
This is coming from a guy who named his cat Cat.
I think my name Kitty Cat could be in there. It's better than some of those. Oh, good morning, Anna. Thanks for joining us.
Lizard. Hold on. Lizard named Toothless. Oh, like the dragon from the movies?
Oh, yeah.
Like Toothless the dragon?
Toothless the dragon.
That's cool. I like that. I need to enter my dog Punky Brewster.
Ah, there you go.
Wow, that's good. Punky Brewster's a pretty good dog name, yeah.
Hold on. Yes, it did horse.
Oh, I think she was talking about the horse that could go inside.
Yeah, see, I told you.
The house horse.
Yes.
6 wiener dogs.
6?
Whoa.
Jessica.
It's a bunch of them. Jessica, what's up?
Hey, thanks for joining us. You have 6 wiener dogs?
That's a pretty
I
large.
figure out why it's cutting off the
Yeah. Jessica, maybe we had a wiener dog once upon a time, and we got him from a lady who had, I don't know, she had so many wiener dogs. She was somebody like Jessica. And then, of course, it had another litter of puppies, and she was like, I can't keep more. So that's how we ended up with our wiener dog. He was a cool little dude.
6 wiener dogs. Our youngest girl's name is Nova, Princess of Darkness.
Ah, cool.
And Destroyer of Worlds.
Oh, that's good.
So is that
you just shorten it up to Destroyer every once in a while, I assume? I think you have to.
Dow.
Just acronym it. DOW. So one of my friends in high school, I like knighting them.
Girlfriend is furry.
I like the idea of knighting them or making them royalty, because one of my buddies had one, and he was Sir Winston of Conway, which was the little town I grew up near.
Yeah.
He was Sir Winston.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll make it fancy.
Yeah,
everybody makes fun of my cat being named Cat or Kitty Cat.
Duchess.
Get
it?
I will Duchess of Or just call well, I can't say it's a girl cat, so I can't do Sir.
No. Duchess is one. I don't know what all the
Duchess cat. Duchess
Princess.
Kitty Cat.
Princess. Yeah.
Nah, I don't like it. Kitty Cat.
I like Duchess better. It's not as high ranking, I guess.
She had a different name, and I just didn't call it that.
That's an interesting thing, too, when you get a dog and it already has a name.
Mm-hmm.
There's no changing it and whatever.
I
Why'd
did.
you name your dog? And you just changed the name. You
And
didn't-
I went with Cat.
Yeah, but she was really little still, right?
Yeah, it was.
It's not like. So we had a dog that was like 11 when we got it. You can't change that dog's name.
Not at 11.
Yeah. She was Pepper. She already knew she was Pepper. You can't change that.
Queen Kitty.
Queen Kitty.
I like that one. I
Queen
like that.
Kitty's pretty good.
That's pretty good, Anna.
Yeah.
So, six
6 wiener dogs. A bunch.
6 wiener dogs. Man, they're probably just like running around all over the place.
Oh yeah, she's got a herd of them, and they run funny. The wiener
Do you
dog.
race
experience.
them?
Ah.
Jessica, do you race the wiener dogs? Is that why you've got 6? Or do you just love the wiener
She
dogs?
says we don't have real kids.
Right.
Of course you don't. You have 6 wiener dogs. You don't have time for kids.
Not if you have 6.
No.
But I know a lot of people that race the wiener dogs, and I'm going to tell you, I've went to the wiener dog races before, and they are amazing.
Yeah. I
They are
always
fun
wanted
to watch.
I always wanted to take hours and enter it into the wiener dog race. Because they are pretty fast for
Mhm.
what they you know.
It's way more entertaining than you would think.
Yeah, I bet so. I feel really boring after reading that list with what I've always named my pets.
Yeah. Now, I had a dog once, but the reason the dog's name was what it was because it was a full bred in a line of
So it had to
Well
have
nut, so
yep.
it had to have. It was almost like its name was already given to it because of this lineage.
Because it come from these others, yeah.
That they were this and they were
But
this.
you
so
can
you
call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
On the paperwork, it has
but
to be.
but the dog's name was Sheba.
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 That's actually a cool name, I think.
It was,
Yeah.
and it fit the dog.
Yeah. It's not a bad one. I never really watched. I always thought it was a cool name, though. We knew somebody that had a husky named Michonne, which evidently was a character from Walking Dead. I didn't get into Walking Dead.
I didn't either.
They were huge Walking Dead fans. But it was a cool dog name, too, Michonne.
You probably have a lot of Game of Thrones.
I bet there are a
some
bunch of
that
them.
stuff now.
Mhm.
Animals. I don't know if the dragons. I can't remember. Even though I watched Game of Thrones,
You know what their names were?
I wonder if they named the dragons.
I don't know. It didn't make it that far.
I don't remember.
Gave up on Game of Thrones.
Well, hell, you were telling me about the first season, and I thought that was like, no, they didn't do that till like the 4th season.
I'm thinking Chris only watched 2 seasons, too.
No, I watched the whole thing. Tells you how much I retained.
Well, you just don't know you don't know when it happened. You know it happened.
I knew it happened,
Yeah.
but I thought it was like the 3rd or 4th season. You're like, nope, happened in the first. I was
No,
like, no,
those ice zombie things, you see them in the first season.
I don't remember that at all.
Maybe I made it into the second, but if I did, I sure gave up pretty fast. What do you think? It's 10, 12 episodes a season?
It was something like that.
Yeah, I probably didn't watch more than 8 or 10.
Yeah.
I figure if I've given it 8 hours of my life and I'm not hooked yet, I'm gone. Usually I
Well,
give it less than that. But I was trying because you guys were all like, this is awesome.
There's a scene that turned. There's a scene that happens because I don't want to give it away in case somebody hasn't seen it yet and they haven't. But there's a scene where something happens in the first season that made me go, "You can't do that!" Oh my gosh! And that's when I was like hooked after that, because then it became, I do not know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that helps.
You never, if they're willing to do that right now,
They killed somebody, didn't they?
who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. I think I knew where some of it was headed to. I got in too late. And I'd heard enough where you knew a lot of people die and this and that. And one of the other guys here, he always would talk because I wasn't watching it, so I didn't care. But Not that it was predictable. I wouldn't say that at all, but just kind of, it was such a big news story every week. Whenever whatever happened on Game of Thrones, you kind of knew without watching the show.
Right.
What time does the Masters start today?
It was supposed to start earlier, but storms rolled through and high winds.
Raining.
The earliest tee time, I think, was at 9 something. But they're talking like it might get pushed back even farther.
Yeah.
Storms and up to 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and you can't play in 50-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yeah.
Because the ball will not stay on the green.
Dodo.
All right. Hope everybody having a good day, by the way. A big Thursday. Anna's got a joke. What's the joke? Do we have 3-person? Yeah. What does it look like when you put that up there? Just out of curiosity.
Put what up where?
That one. That camera.
Where do you want me to put it?
On that. Just out of curiosity. It's going to be too close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can put it on Wilson, I guess, for now. Oh, you want to hear one from us? Oh. I thought you meant you had a joke. I thought that's what you were actually saying.
Jules is our jokester.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have one.
Jules
right now.
Jules does the jokes. What do you call a bear with no teeth?
I know this one.
Yeah, it's easy.
For pet day, what's a cat's favorite color?
There. Do his. Guess.
What's a cat's favorite color? It's one of my kids told me they love it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. Just another reminder that some internet challenges are dangerous. An influencer and their friends in Brazil almost needed to have their toes amputated because they stood on a bucket of ice and salt for an endurance challenge. They just froze their thumbs. They almost froze their toes off.
Well, that's interesting. We had something similar to this the other day. I have never done this.
Okay. Are we keeping it a mystery?
What?
What you haven't done?
Peed at a urinal.
Hmm?
I haven't peed at a urinal. Have you peed at a urinal? Or
Yes. Daily.
I'm sorry. Used your phone while peeing at a urinal.
Okay.
I forgot a key
Yes.
thing there.
I
skipped over a really key part of that.
pretty sure you have.
I have never peed at a urinal.
Used your phone while doing it? Nah, I don't think so. If I can't put my phone away for long enough to take a leak, then that's a problem.
I don't think I've ever sat there and peed and held my phone.
Maybe it's more like you're talking on it.
Maybe I have.
Usually I'm like, hey, I'm going into the bathroom. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Dang, the scrap metal thieves are getting creative in Southern California, where they've stolen almost a dozen street lights. The lights are very old. They took the whole pole.
Yes.
They are about 100 years old, partially made out of bronze. Each one could be a few $100s in scrap. That's why, yes.
I think we're doing that here in 45 seconds.
Ah.
I think it's a good story.
It's a good story.
If you would like to see our buddy Wilson, you can go catch the live stream right now.
Yeah.
We're live streaming every Monday, except for tomorrow, because we're adding and we're changing a few things. So we won't be live streaming tomorrow, but we're live streaming now, and we typically do it every Monday through Friday, 8 to 9.
Yeah.
So you can jump on any of our social media. You can go to BigDog979.com. If you go to any of the socials, you can make a comment on there, and we'll see it, and we'll see where you're watching from, and you can communicate with us that way. Hey to Anna and Jessica, I believe it was.
Yeah, Jessica was talking about, we talked about pet names. She has a herd of wiener dogs.
A herd of them.
As she described it.
I thought this was an interesting story because we've had to deal with that here, and I think a lot of places have, trying to steal copper and some other stuff, and then they get electrocuted and poop everywhere.
Yep.
But thieves in Southern California have stolen almost a dozen bronze streetlights now.
Yeah.
The historic lights are about 100 years old, so they're antique. They're probably worth a lot of money.
I would say so.
Not just to scrap it, but also probably because they're so old.
Yeah, right.
They are partially made of bronze. Supposedly, each one could be worth a few $100s of scrap metal. They are probably worth more unscrapped. But
possibly, yes.
But they're just wanting the scrap. Here's actually the Pasadena Public Information Officer, Lisa, talking about the thefts.
It's sad that it's come to this. In the last 4 days alone, we've had 11 of them stolen. They're backing in vehicles or trucks, tying a chain around them, and literally just yanking them out of the ground.
So, I don't know if you heard that like I heard it, but I'm pretty sure Lisa just said, and she tried to correct herself, but she said
it's too late,
that they are yanking off those poles.
Yes, she did. She definitely did.
They're wrapping chains around them and yanking off the poles.
We do this on the daily where we have to speak in public, so to speak, right?
And that's what she is. She's the public information
and
officer.
Occasionally there's something you start saying, you're like, oh my God, it's too late. I've already said it.
And now she's like, oh my gosh.
I just said yanking them
That
off.
is now going to make it everywhere. And
here we are in
Chris
Missouri.
Purples and Bobby is going to talk about where I said I was yanking off poles.
It's sad that it's come to this. In the last 4 days alone, we've had 11 of them stolen. They're backing in vehicles or trucks, tying a chain around them, and literally just yanking them out of.
yanking them off
she realized
out
what
of the
she was-
ground.
Around them and literally just yanking them off out of the. Literally just yanking them off out.
God. You could hear that tremble in her voice, like, ah, man.
I'm gonna get fired.
I just said that on the news. I just said yanking them off.
Well, you know what was on Lisa's mind?
Lisa, what's up, girl?
It's a bad thing, but yeah.
At least we can bring a little laughter to, people destroying the history of L.A.
Stop it. But there you go. You got to be careful with your words.
Yes.
For a few more minutes. And he's laying backwards. And he's got 45-pound bar with 45s. And he's like going all the way back with it, doing a sit-up all the way up, and then lifting it up, and then laying down, and then going back up, and doing that like over and over and over.
That's hard to do.
In leather pants.
In leather pants.
Yeah. Lenny Kravitz working out in leather pants.
That's hard to do if I'm in sweats.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do that right now. I'm so out of shape.
Yeah. Sometimes I see those guys at the gym and the weight they're putting on a bar, and I'm like, it would not even look close to that for me.
Yeah. So the Otani is a victim of his interpreter's gambling scandal.
I don't believe it. I'm not buying it.
So they're basically the interpreter is going to take the blame.
Yes, he's the fall guy. You're not telling me.
Here's $1 million.
Mhm.
Take the blame. We'll fire you.
You're fired.
Go away. But here's $1 million.
Yeah.
Apparently, the interpreter embezzled at least $4.5 million from one of his accounts.
Because, your interpreter has access to all your banking stuff, right?
So, do you not believe it because he's a Dodger? Would you believe it if he was a Cardinal?
No, I don't think I would believe it. What's better is my wife is thoroughly convinced that he knows English. He just keeps the interpreter as a buffer zone.
Oh, he very well could.
And she
I
may be
bet.
right.
Well,
And
there's
it's actually smart if you're in that situation.
there's a guy that golfer, great golfer, won the Masters a couple years ago.
Matsuyama?
Yes, I think he does know some English. I don't think he knows it very well.
That's what I tried to tell
But
her.
I think he does know some because he does communicate with them when they play golf. Because those guys say he's got a good sense of humor. He's got this. So that means he can communicate with them some.
It's just not enough.
Not enough to really carry on a conversation. And I think they have an interpreter as a buffer to make sure they know the question and to make sure the question. Because they know what. I think they know enough that when they answer back, I think they know what the questions are a lot of times, and they know what the interpreter is telling them back.
You usually can tell.
They just can't maybe speak it clearly enough to make it sound.
You can usually tell when it is like an absolute necessity.
Right.
Because there is no communication without him. And I've told her the same thing. Yeah, I bet he does speak a little English, but it's not enough to get by.
Right.
he'll pick up a lot of it because he's played
He's-
here already for like 4 years.
Yeah, so you're going to,
You'll pick up.
just like if you go to Japan and live there for 4 years, you are going to pick up things.
Mhm. But I wouldn't even blame him if it's like I insulate myself by not having to.
Things you learn only on the live feed. For those that are watching, do appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Winona Judd's daughter got arrested for flashing her jugs.
I heard that yesterday. From what I understand, that's like the least. She's had some pretty big legal problems in the past or something like that.
First I thought this was the night that he chucked the chair over the thing.
Not the same.
No, 2019 has emerged where he challenged a guy to a headbutting contest at a bar.
That feels like something Morgan Wallen would do.
So I think this is just a pattern.
He's just a drunken idiot. It's what it is. We know what it is. I like this story. Here. Check this out. And God, what a lawsuit this can be. For years, a Canadian DNA lab knowingly delivered paternity test results that they knew might identify the wrong dads. They knowingly sent them out.
And they knew it?
Uh-huh. They've been accused of relying more on guesswork than science. And supposedly they kind of knew it, and they were sending out results anyway.
No.
So there could be people that
Think that
think they have a kid or don't,
And they
either
actually
direction,
do.
and they do or they don't.
that's
That feels like something we really want to get right. And we have the science to get right. It doesn't need to be guesswork. That sucks.
Jelly Roll declined to meet P. Diddy a year ago. I think he knew something.
Called it a gut instinct, too. It was
Yeah.
like something told me.
He was going to
no.
meet him, and then he realized as he was walking to meet him to get a picture and stuff, he realized, you know what? I don't want a photo of that. And it's like that tells you either he knew something or there was a gut instinct that told him, no, I don't think that's good.
I think I really believe that the knowledge had to have been out there amongst the celebrity circles, and now we're all finding out.
So is Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yellowstone is not, or is coming back for one final little goodbye,
Are they?
I believe, or is it completely done? Did it end the way it did? I thought they were coming back to do a few episodes and then being done.
Everything I'd heard was they were supposed to do that, but then I think it was Costner mostly was kind of a hang up, and they never got that ironed out that I knew. But I
Oh,
haven't.
so it might be just.
They
done.
wanted to do one season to wrap it, but
Oh, so
I think he was. Now that may be resolved because at the same time he was going through that divorce and everything, and so we'll see, I guess. But
well, now he's saying he's willing to return. That's why I was wondering about this. It says he's willing to return to Yellowstone to give his character a proper send off, which is, I
Costner?
thought, yes, Costner's willing to do it. Quote, maybe this will circle back to me. If it does, I feel really comfortable with it, and I would love to do it. He said he would consider returning to Yellowstone to give his character a proper send off. He said, Tyler Sheridan said, quote, I've kind of had my own fantasy how Dutton's final arc might be. So I thought this was already going to happen, and I thought he quit the show or wasn't going to do the show because we're going to wrap it up and then we're going to call it quits. But I guess I didn't realize it was, it's over.
I mean, has it been 2 years since they've had one?
Maybe.
It's been a while. COVID might have influenced that and stuff, but it's been a while since the last season was out.
He says, quote, I would like to be able to do it, but we haven't been able to.
Who said that? Costner did?
Costner. He says, if it does, I feel really comfortable with it. I would love to do it.
Well, cool. Maybe it's all working out.
Of course, feeling really comfortable would probably mean patching things up with Taylor Sheridan.
So those two.
Which now he has come out and said that he does have an idea of how to do that final arc.
Okay.
But Taylor has to do everything because he's got the power. It's crazy to think he's got more power probably than Kevin in a sense when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, I think at this point he does. I don't know exactly, but a lot of those people that were in are like, yeah, come on, hurry up, let's do this.
We need one more season at least.
We could really use.
Or you just go, well, fine, you're not coming back, and you write it in with a
Kill
new
him
character,
off.
and
I don't. He is like the patriarch of the thing. It just, you have to at least kill him or something in the first episode or something.
or you just leave it hanging, which probably what was coming, is what they said.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to sell all this off because we can't afford it, and then all of a sudden it's a tourist trap.
It's been long enough for me now. I don't remember what happened at the end of the last season that aired. The last season that aired, by the way, looked like it was in January of 23. So we're over a year since it's actually been on the air.
Which means even if they started now writing and doing some other stuff, probably another 2 or 3 years before. Well, that Taylor went on to just do other shows in the
He had all the
Yellowstone
spin-offs
universe.
and yeah.
And I think he's got more in the works even.
So he didn't really have to have it. If you're going to fight about this, it's fine.
Screw it. I'm going to go over here and work with different people.
A bunch of lower level actors, by the way, that are going to become now. Some of those spinoffs had some really big ones on it, but yeah, he's got to be there because isn't he like the governor and all that now? I'm pretty sure. I think he was the governor at the end there, and Anna's rooting for Yellow.
I'm not sure if you remember this, but back in January, Keanu Reeves was seen using crutches on the set of an upcoming movie called Good Fortune. It's directed by Aziz Ansari.
Oh, really?
Which I did not know he was in.
I didn't know he
moving in.
directed.
Maybe this is his first one. I just know him as a comedian.
He is a comedian
and been in some comedy type.
Sure,
stuff.
he's been in movies too.
Well, he revealed what happened
okay.
to Keanu. He said, quote, about 15 days into shooting with me, I said, go chill in your trailer. And then he tripped on a rug.
Oh.
He said, poor guy, he was such a trooper. He fractured his kneecap.
Ow.
And continued to do all the scenes with a fractured kneecap.
Okay.
And Z also brought up a good point. In all of Keanu's action movies like John Wick, Speed, quote, he never had to go to the hospital or anything.
But on the one thing Aziz Ansari.
In a movie called Good Fortune,
yeah,
Keanu plays an angel named Gabriel.
Really?
It also stars NZ, Seth Rogen, Sandra Oh, Keke Palmer. No release date of yet. It sounds like it could be very funny.
Yeah, it's a comedy for sure. I figured it would be a comedy. Cool. So Keanu's going to be an angel in an upcoming comedy movie.
Yeah.
And Aziz Ansari may be responsible for him being debilitated the rest of his life.
Yes. I don't know if it's a good, but you got to think about it. All the John Wick movies, he never got injured or hurt.
Right,
And
how?
all those action scenes.
Trip on a
in
rug.
comedy, he trips on a rug.
Yeah. You never know what can get you, guys. Just be careful out there.
Live life, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You never know.
Never know.
But looking forward to that one. I don't know if he's a good angel or a bad angel. That's the thing. It
Gabe-
just says angel.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know if Gabriel has anything to. I don't know if that means anything or not, or if it's.
It kind of seems like it does, but I sure am not knowledgeable enough to know.
No.
Yeah.
Here's Rich Glitter.
This is not headline news. Today is National Pet Day. Spending time with dogs relieves stress and helps you concentrate. Spending time with cats reminds you evil exists and you will die alone. The next James Bond movie may be an updated remake. The title of it will be The Spy Who Tagged Me in an Instagram post. The men from Days of Our Lives posed for Playgirl. I didn't even realize either of those things still existed. What next? Politicians from the Whig Party drinking Tang? And Lenny Kravitz posted a workout video in tight leather pants. For more details, ask your wife. This is not headline news.
But you should check out our TikTok page, Christopher Plays and Bobby Show.
Anna said we had a good show today. Thanks, Anna.
Oh, thank you, guy. Thank you, Anna. Appreciate it.
As opposed to the half-ass ones we usually do.
Those are normal.
It was a pretty good show today.
I think it was.
We had some fun things.
Brag on ourselves.
Yeah. Hey, why not? So we talked about road trips. I don't know if we did much on the live stream. We talked about, I kind of want to go on a road trip. I want to take my kids. I just read this other thing that says, like, on average, what's the length of the perfect road trip?
Oh, what is it?
3 days. That's really not a lot.
No. I mean,
Is that drive time alone? Is that what they mean by that? Like a day and a half drive time each, there and back?
oh, yeah, because you'd have to come back.
Because that's no time to stay anywhere, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still
Well,
be
I
cool.
was thinking, like, you drive it, because you got to, because I think of a road trip as you drive somewhere, you might do a few things, you might drive somewhere else and do a few things.
You're thinking hitting multiple points.
Yes, but it almost sounds like this is just a road trip where you just drive for 3 days and kind of visit things along the way.
I mean,
So you might do 12 hours of driving in a day, or no, you probably do almost like 8 hours of driving, and you do a couple hours of sightseeing or stopping at certain things.
guess that's possible, is what they mean. I'm not real sure. It's just what it says. I don't know.
I feel like that's not very.
I kind of have this
Long.
idea. Yeah.
I think a good road trip is a week.
It would be nicer. I don't have a week to commit to it this year, though. I'm thinking of like doing maybe shorter one somewhere.
3 days.
I think it would probably be long weekend.
Have they ever seen the mountains?
I've never seen them.
You've never seen the mountains?
No. I mean, I've seen
Now-
some mountains before, like around Vegas. There's the little, but
It's not the
I've
same.
never seen the Rockies.
Now, it takes you like 10 hours to get there,
I know.
and it's not very exciting of a drive.
It's a sucky drive, I've heard. Yeah.
But,
You can go see the mountains
in 10 hours.
Yeah.
and then you could spend 2 days there and drive back.
Yeah.
And you can go different ways.
Yeah.
You could make it
But it's sucky either way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Because you could go, because I've done a similar trip, because you could do a similar trip. It'd take you about, it's a lot of driving,
Yeah.
but you could probably pull it off in about 5 days. Go south through Oklahoma City and through Amarillo and go through Texas.
Yeah.
Go out to, it's close to, you could almost hit Arizona in the Grand Canyon. And then you come back up through like New Mexico, through like the end of the mountains there. And it's a pretty cool drive up into Colorado that way.
Okay.
Then that way you could do the Garden of God. You could
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
do some of that stuff and you see little things.
That adds quite a bit of time, though. I mean,
Well, that's why I was saying 5 days.
yeah.
And then you would drive back maybe you don't hit the northern side. You stay just the south. You still see them because you see Pikes Peak.
Mm-hmm.
You could go up there, and then drive back.
So that
But-
was
But you got Kansas,
Uh-huh.
boring for
Yeah.
the most part. Once you get into that one part of Texas on your way to New Mexico, it's boring.
yeah.
It's just
Panhandle and
flat.
stuff is nothing. I've heard.
It's the same as Kansas.
yeah.
It's a wasteland.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 hours through Western Canada. It is 10 hours. I've done that road trip several times, actually. Key West.
That's a long drive to Key West. You know, we're spoiled too. We've flown
Key
the last
West, you
several
were
trips.
tripping in Key West, or you road tripped?
She's road tripping. That's different. Don't drive when you're tripping.
No, it's not
Don't
good.
do that.
You can be a passenger.
Yeah, you can do
but
that.
Don't drive.
You don't really want to be confined though.
No, actually, that's probably
In a car is a bad place
because
for
you might
it.
all of a sudden, I must get out now,
I have to leave now, right now, right now.
and it's not good at 70 miles an hour to exit a car.
Not ideal.
That is true. Good point. Just that way you can see the mountains and the kids.
It's a good idea.
And it's really not.
The other thing I've had,
It's not a bad. Yes, it sucks. But the cool thing is, there is a few things along that Texas route
Mhm.
that you could stop and take pictures at, and it'd be kind of cool. And
Mhm.
I don't know how far that is, but
I've also thought about like Michigan or something like that.
yeah.
I'd like to see that too. Have never seen that. We talked about maybe like Minnesota and in that area.
Oh yeah, the Grand Canyon's a lot farther. I'm sorry.
Yeah, isn't it New Mexico first, then Arizona?
Yeah, well, it'd been a while since I'd taken that trip.
Yeah.
But it's 11 and a half hours to get to like where I was thinking about,
Mm-hmm.
north of Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
then,
that interstate
and then
25 that goes straight up.
well, then there's no, I don't take the interstate. There's a other way, and it cuts right through the mountains.
Okay.
From Colorado Springs down to like Angel Fire, New Mexico, and to Albuquerque.
Okay.
There's a road that cuts up through there that's more 2-lane, but it's a really cool drive because you're driving like right next to the mountains, like it cuts through them.
That's cool. Yeah.
like at the edge, and they just gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm. No, honestly, I've not. The West, seen none of it.
Anna, thanks for joining us. Jessica, thanks for joining us. Everybody else, thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always leave comments. Unfortunately, just heads up, we won't be live streaming because we're doing some work on computers and all that kind of back end stuff tomorrow. Still be doing the show as normal, but won't have the live stream up. Thanks. Have a good day and enjoy.
Yeah, take care.